Okay, so I haven't made a video on this before. Let's go ahead and make one. So I've told you in some other videos you've seen that we're rebuilding the Kohler for this for the Mount Murray. Got a 12 horsepower Kohler. You saw a picture of it, and I kind of tore it apart, and that was all as far as it got. So we are ready. We're gonna start putting it back together, getting this thing running and fully ready to go. So when that Briggs goes, we got an engine we can just go ahead and slap on. It's gonna be pretty nice. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you some stuff I've already done to it, where we're at. I'll go through some of what we did in the past. So when I got it, I paid $40 for it. It didn't have a cover on it. It didn't have that cover or the air filter or anything. The carburetor was missing the bowl and everything, the float, and it was just trash. But it wasn't worth $40 because the whole combustion chamber was filled with mud. So you can see the valves here, or this is the intake. I haven't cleaned the intake yet. The intake is shot, but that valve doesn't even move. It probably does actually, but look, yeah, it doesn't move because I remember it was spinning over, so the valves do move. But look at that in there; it's all rusted. Everything is rusty. I cleaned the valves on the outside a little bit, but you just look; it's just ruined in there. It's not as bad as it could be in there. But I tore it down. It had 2 quarts of water in it. Get out of here, you fly. This is all full of sludge. The oil filter was all clogged. You can see that's been busted off. That's been crushed in there. The engine block is actually cracked. I don't know why, but it is. So yeah, the rings are stuck. The wasn't seized, but it wouldn't go all the way. Like, you know, it wasn't seized, but it was stuck, and the rings were and everything, and it was just horrible. But I've been working on it now some. Painted that. I'm going to repaint that because that just came out absolutely pitiful. But flywheel, all the magnets are gone, so it's not going to charge. Alternator was all rusted, so we cleaned that up. It don't look good at all. It still looks pretty bad, but hopefully it takes a charge. I played some of the plates are bent. This plate was absolutely completely bent everywhere, but it's fine now, so I'll leave that. This is fine. This is cracked all the way to the top, sadly. These valves had, you can see they had rust on them. I had to clean the rust off. This is a little rusty. We do have some nice stuff though. I got a new fuel filter for it today. Got the carburetor there. The carburetor is I gotta make this into a racing carb. But yeah, it was just horrible. It took me like 2 hours to assemble it and get everything clean. There was oil everywhere. It was nasty. It was nasty. Got this whole sump cleaned out, no sludge in it. I took the whole oil filter assembly apart, cleaned all the gunk out of that, so it has a clean filter now. The valve lifters, I got some sandpaper. They are looking absolutely, there's a little bit of staining on them, but it's literally a mirror now, as you can see. There's still some staining, but it was way worse, so it's smooth now. The valve lifters are good now. They're all cleaned up. The crank is all cleaned up, as you can see. All the ends are cleaned up on everything. Even the lobes on the cam I cleaned. The piston, I had cleaned up the piston, got the rings unstuck. So I'm not buying new rings. I should be buying new rings, but I'm not going to. And yeah. They're not as smooth as they should be. And I don't think that's supposed to be sticking out like that far, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. I hope so. Hope I got the rings in the right order. I cleaned up the rod bearings inside, or the surfaces. Looks pretty good. Nice and shiny. Not barely any scoring. Actually, there's no scoring. Just a little bit of like. You can just see a little bit of whatever that is. But it's totally fine. It's working perfect. So everything here is ready to go back on. I'm not going to paint any of this because I just don't feel like it because it's going to get abused. So I cleaned up this thing, the coil, cleaned up all that, got a new fuel filter for it. I just ordered a tune-up kit for it, so it's got new oil coming. Another fuel filter, but that's a Chinese one, so it's trash. fuel shut off that I got for it too. Spark plug, air filter. It comes with all that. Oil filter. It comes with all that. Oh, I still need a cap for that. But other than that, the sump's done. Everything you see here is ready to go back in. Matter of fact, I'm even ready to put the rod back on. But the only thing problem right now is the block is not done because it still needs to be honed. Which we're gonna try and get it honed today. It's like really rusty in there, but honestly, I don't know why I'm working on this. That block, I may not be savable. So if that's the case, we got a lot of Kohler parts. A lot of them. But I probably won't. No, I'll just run it anyway. I'll run the block anyway, no matter how bad it is, because this is probably going to get blown up eventually anyway, maybe in a few years. But don't forget, power more will go on after this one. So now I'm going to start working on the head over here. Yep, I used some 2000 grit, fine grit sandpaper on that stuff over there. I'm going to start working on the head. I'm going to take the valves out, completely strip this head down. And then I'm going, oh, I just crushed a stink bug. Oh yeah, it smells wonderful. I'm going to pull the valves out now, and I'm going to clean everything up, clean all the rust out of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and port the intake and exhaust, shave it down real good. I won't shave the head at all, but actually I might shave the head a little bit. Oh, dang, I still got to get a head gasket for it. I should have remembered that. So I got to go up and buy a head gasket too. So yeah, I'm going to go and pull the valves out. We're going to see what we got. Clean it up in here, polish everything, lap the valves. This will be a few days, but we're going to try and get the block honed and get this thing back together. Well, I'm probably going to go ahead and call it a day here. I got all this stuff cleaned up today. Crank. This is now all cleaned up. The valve cover. Put in the ultrasonic cleaner in there. It's still kind of dirty, but there's not much I can do about that. Showed you all that's all cleaned up. I got the head all apart. Valves, you can see the seats are gone. The seats are absolutely terrible. Everything is rusty. Done about all I can do so far. I took the block over to get honed. Won't be back for about 2 weeks, and I can start putting everything back together. Got to go to the junkyard and get a flywheel and a starter. I'm not going to retime it because there's just no reason to. Unless I can move. I don't think there's any reason. We'll do some research and then we'll see what happens. But all this is ready to go back together. So now there's nothing to do right now on it except for head work. So I got the head out here soaking in the ultrasonic cleaner. It's about 140 degrees. See the head in there? Then I got this over here. The cover's painted. Cover all nice and painted. Oh yeah, nice and wet. So just go ahead and flip it over, I guess. Look at that. Flawless. See what we got here. I'm gonna have finished repainting this one. Okay, here we go. That's all repainted. So this is all done now. Take this inside. Inside, it all could have been better, but this is Krylon paint and it sucks like nothing else. So therefore, it actually came out pretty good, considering that it's Krylon. So yeah, there's that. Got the head soaking out there as I showed. I'm going to wait for that to be, just let it soak for a while. And once that's done soaking, I'm going to clean her off, set it on this table, and then I'm going to come and shave it down, port it, polish it, lap the valves, and put it back together. And then I'm going to go up right now and order the head gasket, and do some research, and I'll go to the junkyard and get a flywheel and starter. I'll get the block back. I'll weld up JV weld it up crack, and I'll get that governor hole blocked off. We'll get putting this thing together.